Dee-dum. And we are recording. Guess what, folks? It's not a Sunday. No, mine isn't. It's a Monday. Bank holiday Monday. Evening, for that matter. Time for another What's Up. So, I will be at the UK Vapor Expo Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday and Sunday for anyone else who's popping down. I'll probably be hanging out at the Home Zone along with basically everybody else, because I don't know if anyone has had a close look. In fact, most of you probably have, to be honest, but had a close look at the floor plan for the May Expo. It's like 90 to 95% disposable companies, because this is the last hurrah before disposables get banned from being sold in the UK from June the 1st, next month, beginning of next month. So there's going to be a lot of panic, I'm guessing, at the UK Vapor Expo. There's going to be a lot of panic going on, because a lot of these wholesalers, distros and disposable companies basically have less than a month left to get rid of their inventory that's sitting in their warehouses. I know multiple vape shops who have got a lot of disposables still in their inventory that they need to get rid of before June 1st. So that's why I've seen a lot of deals, especially online, with some of the smaller shops. Like buy a disposable, get one free, buy a pod kit, get two disposables free, that kind of thing, just to get rid of the backlog in their warehouse before June 1st hits. Because once it hits 12 midnight on June 1st, that's it. They can't sell disposables legally, either in their shop or online on their store. That's why the May Expo is just covered in disposable vendors. A lot worse actually than the first Expo back after COVID, because at least the first Expo back after COVID, when there was the first rush of disposables, there was still a half dozen or so vendors who were selling just normal pod kits or normal kits. Not now. Now there's Phelan, OXVA. Is Aspire there? Phelan, OXVA. I think Aspire. I don't remember seeing Vapor SO having a stand. No, I think they're there. I think they are there. Four. And everything else is literally everything else is disposables. Couple of white label OEM label and bottle manufacturers there, but everything else is disposables. So there is going to be panic at the Expo, as you see all these disposable manufacturers, distros and wholesalers trying to get rid of their inventory before June 1st hits. And that's the way it goes. And the interesting thing is, I've left Second Life open here, the dinging in the background. The interesting thing is as well, the bookings for the October Expo have actually opened up, which means it looks as if there's going to be an October Expo this year as well, which I was kind of surprised at. I'll be honest, I thought the May one, that was it. They were going to announce that it's going to be down to one Expo a year, but nope. It looks like they're going ahead with the October Expo, because the floor plan, I was sent a screenshot, it's not publicly available, I was sent a screenshot from a vendor, and the floor plan's already half booked, and we're still months away from October yet. So I don't know. I mean, if the halls manage to book out, it looks as if there's going to be an October Expo after all. I honestly thought there wasn't going to be one. Honestly thought there wasn't, but it looks as if there is. And there we have it, folks. As for the whole advocacy thing, I've been rather quiet as of late, talking about what's happening with vaping in the UK. We know for certain that the June 1st ban on disposables is going through. But if you look at the white paper the tobacco and related products bill, or the tobacco and vapes bill, basically, that's currently hitting the House of Lords right now, there has been a number of amendments that have been added to that bill before it hit the House of Lords. So there is no guarantee that what the Lords sends back to the all-party parliamentary group, who will then pass it back for the final reading in Parliament, there is no guarantee that what I could look at today is going to be the same paper that the Lords is going to be looking at and debating over the next couple of weeks. It's pointless looking at this paper the way it's laid out right now, because what's basically happened is the Labour Party have been busy tacking all sorts of stupid rules and regulations that the Lords are just going to kick out. The Lords will simply kick it out, and if they don't kick it out, the new all-party parliamentary group that's just been formed a couple of months ago, from what I remember, just been formed because it's a brand new government, well, newish. They've been in power, 9-10 months now, so it's a new all-party parliamentary group to do with vaping. They've already got 4 people on the board, 2 from the House of Lords, 2 from the House of Parliament. They're going to look at that, especially if they're going to go down the median split, 2 for, 2 against, and they're going to have to end up ripping up a lot of the amendments that the Labour Party tacked onto that bill just before it hit the House of Lords. See, this is the usual trick that a sitting government tends to do. They usually tend to add on a whole bunch of amendments, which means because there's like 2 times or 3 times more shit to read through in the House of Lords, and because the House of Lords is allocated a very short amount of time to go through the bill, the more amendments they add, the more amendments the Houses of Parliament adds, the more pressure the House of Lords is under to just say, fuck it, pass the bill. But I don't think it's going to work this time round, because there is a number of vapors in the House of Lords. There's also a number of vapors in the Houses of Parliament. And with the absolute drubbing that the Labour Party got in the local council elections because of Reform UK, I'm thinking that the Labour Party is going to be a little bit more careful as they tiptoe around and on top of the new rules to do with vaping in the United Kingdom. It's pointless me talking about it until there's a concrete set of laws that are going in for the final reading in the Houses of Parliament. Because what paper goes through the House of Lords now is not going to be the same paper that the APPG is going to read for their final sitting in the paper, which is not going to be the same paper that's going to be chucked to the House of Commons for its final read-through on the 3rd go-round. It's pointless reading it. It's pointless. There's been all sorts of amendments added on, including an amendment that basically bans these. Outright bans them. It's the big puff systems, like 6,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 puffs. And we've seen more and more of these kits coming out ever since the Dojo system came out from Vaporesso. So it's basically a 2mm pod with a 10mm tank that clamps on top of the pod and drip feeds liquid down into the pod from the top. So you're basically looking at what is essentially a 2mm capacity pod turned into a 12mm capacity pod via the use of a tank that extends the capacity of the pod. There was an amendment added in just before it hit the House of Lords, which basically bans big puff systems. It flat out bans it. Any pod system, it's actually named in the amendment. Any pod system that's got any extension tanks or any extension systems that artificially extends the tank capacity of that pod above 2mm, banned. So they're going after the big puffs now. And we've got to admit, the big puffs have taken over from where the disposables left off. Because look, this is the Lost Mary 4-in-1. It's 4 2mm pods in the same kit, and the pods are replaceable and the battery's rechargeable. It's not a disposable, it's now an actual pod kit. But there's 4 pods in here. You just twist this thing round. This was featured on the eSig 1 channel. I didn't bother reviewing it in this channel. So there's 4 pods in here. We've seen this kind of system before. But there's also this. This is the battery part. It looks like a C-frame, or a nod to a C-frame mod. So this is the battery part, right? And this looks like a normal pod, but it's not, because half of this fucker is a tank. So there's the tank at the bottom, and the coil's up here, and because there's no room for a battery, you do this with it. Well, you know, it's upside down, that's how. You do this with it. 15k puff in this pod, and it needs the battery to be connected up to it, because basically half of this is the coil and the other half is the 10mm tank. This is the Lost Mary Nera 15k puffs. And Lost Mary have been releasing a lot of these big puff systems, starting off with the BM6000, the Nera 15k, which is what this one is, the Nera 30k, which is one of these, with two of these included in the package, and then the Lost Mary 4-in-1. They've ditched the disposables now. They're on to the big puff. So if this amendment that goes after these is read through in the House of Lords, and it's given the nod of approval by the House of Lords in a vote, the new white paper bill with the included amendment to ban these is what's going to be read at the all-party parliamentary group. And if the amendment holds firm in the APPG meeting, that whole white paper, including any amendments given the nod by the House of Lords and the APPG, will be the final draft of the Tobacco and Vapes Bill being read by the House of Commons, the Parliament, probably sometime in August. No, they've got their month off for summer. September. I'm going to guess September, maybe even going into October. So you're not only looking at a whole list of new rules to do with the sales of vapes, you're also looking at these getting banned. Big puffs getting banned. So it's not worth me really talking about what's happening with that tobacco and vapes bill thing, and it's not worth me talking about what's happening with the new session of the all-party parliamentary group to do with tobacco and vapes, when that paper is being consistently changed over and over and over again by the anti-e-cig establishment, who's rooted deep within the Labour Party, and the kind of pro-e-cig establishment that's rooted in the House of Lords. The APPG, the all-party parliamentary group, are basically going to have the final say in this, because they can't just bounce it back and forth between the House of Lords and House of Commons over and over again, because the House of Lords is only allowed 3 readings, and on the 3rd reading it's got to either pass or fail. 9 times out of 10 it just automatically passes on the 3rd reading. They don't want to push this to a 3rd reading. It's already been said by people inside the Houses of Commons. They don't want to push this to a 3rd reading. They want this pushed through this year. They want that paper passed into law by the end of this year, which means it will take effect midway through 2026. Because there's going to be the 5 or 6 month grandfather clause, like they did for disposables, to allow all the vape shops to get rid of these big puff things if they do end up banning them. Yeah, the whole thing's a fucking mess. That's the only way. It's a mess. It's an absolute fucking mess right now. And it's not worth me reporting on it if the case could be that by this time next week, half the amendments have been dropped and 3 new amendments have been added in. It's not worth talking about it until there's a concrete, black and white, final draft of that bill ready to be read for the final time in the House of Commons. Because once that draft bill is finalised and on the run-up to the final reading, that is when vapers can act and say to their local member of parliament, hey, you know what, we agree with this banning of big puffs, and we agree with this and this and this, but we don't agree with these other points here, because by that point in time, before the final reading, but the final draft has been done, we can act on it. It's not worth doing it right now. It honestly isn't. It's not worth doing it right now, because there's been so many amendments and so many changes. I don't fucking know the state of that white paper bill. I don't, because they're not updating it on the fucking Commons website. The whole thing's a fucking mess. It just is. It's a mess. Once things become finalised, and that draft bill is now the final read bill, that is when I'm going to start covering things. The other thing that's pissing me off as well, and I kind of touched on this in the Saturday show, 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, when things were looking normal for the UK, normal, you had me mentioning Advocacy now and again, one or two other reviewers in the UK mentioning Advocacy now and again, not asking for money, not putting our caps out and asking for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of pounds to keep fighting. Then all of a sudden Rishi Sunak pops up with his tobacco and vapes bill, and all of a sudden group after group after group after fucking group after group after group after group pops up out of nowhere, led by people I have never fucking heard of, who know fuck all about the industry, all of a sudden going, we're the ones to save vaping. Who the fuck are you? No, seriously, who the fuck are you? Number one, the leader of these multitudes of groups, all dozen of you, because I've counted 12 of these Save UK Vaping groups, with a big donation button at the bottom of their fucking webpage. Number one, never fucking heard of you. Number two, no one else has fucking heard of you. Number three, where the fuck's the money going? And number four, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Seriously, who the fuck are you? This same shit happened over in the United States when the US started having its problems. Group after group after group after group after group after group after group, led by fucking nobodies, popped up out of fucking nowhere. We're going to save vaping. Nobody heard of them. Nobody's seen them in the industry. Nobody's seen them in Facebook groups. Nobody's seen them in online forums. Nobody's seen them on YouTube. Nobody's seen them on Instagram. Nobody's seen them on X or Twitter. Nobody's seen them on fucking LinkedIn. They've literally popped up out of nowhere saying, we can save vaping. No, you fucking can't. You don't have an inside interest in the Houses of Parliament. I do. I know a good half dozen Labour MPs, all of them pro-vaping. None of you lot do. Well, one of you do. But it's the one that's led by Mark Oates. It's the one that's led by Mark. It's not We Vape, We Vote. World Vapors? Is it the World Vapors group? They popped up a long time ago though. But there's a whole fucking bunch of other ones. Never fucking heard of you. But you're there with your fucking literally one page website with a big donate button at the bottom. Donate to us and we can save vaping. No, you can't. You're a nobody. Nobody's going to fucking listen to you. Nobody. This is another thing that pisses me off about Advocacy. You've got people like me. You've got people like Marky Soliomi. He's going on about Advocacy far more than I am right now. But you've got people like me, people like Mark Solom, who are going on about Advocacy whenever something bad pops up. More so in Mark's case, he's going on about Advocacy a lot, and you don't hear us begging for money constantly, which is what these other groups are constantly doing. And I know that some of these groups, they're getting hundreds, and in some cases, thousands of pounds a month from random people donating to them. The next time you think about donating to any of these advocacy groups online, ask yourself one question. Just one, to make things simple. Just ask yourself this question. What have they done up to now? And I bet you in the vast majority of these cases, with the exception of Mark Oates and the World Vapors Alliance or Forum, or whatever the hell Mark called it, we all know the one I'm talking about here, the one led by Mark, with the exception of him, the answer for all the other groups in the UK that have popped up over the past 2 years is simple. Nothing. They have done zero. Jack shit. They're just begging for money online, guilt-tripping people saying, only we can save vaping. No, you fucking can't. fuck off. Seriously, fuck off. That's another thing that pisses me off about advocacy. I've been doing it for the better part of a decade. Solom's been doing it for the better part of a decade as well. Not once have we begged for money for advocacy. Not once. But these fuckers pop up out of nowhere, giving it, we can save vaping, only we can do it. No, you fucking can't. You don't have any input with the NNA, what's left of the NNA. You don't have any input with UKVIA. You don't have any contacts with the IBVTA. You don't have any contacts with the Conservative Party. I do. Well, after the last election, 5 out of 7 of them were kicked out, so I've only got 2 Conservative parliamentary MPs left. You don't have any contacts with the Labour Party. I have. I've got half a dozen of them. You don't. Then it's like, what the fuck are you going to do? I know what you're going to do. You're going to sit there and panhandle for money while you sit in your fucking arse and do nothing to save vaping in the UK. That's exactly what you're going to fucking do. And the exact same fucking thing happened in the US. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. Look at all the fucking Save Vaping groups that popped up in the United States. There was about 15 of them at one point. What did they do? What did they do? Nothing. But they were very quick to beg for money. Very fucking quick to beg for money. Unless it's UKVIA. Unless it's the World Vapors Forum Alliance, whatever the fuck you call it. The one ran by Mark Oates. Because I can't remember the fucking name of it now. Unless it's the one ran by him. And unless it's the IBVTA to a smaller extent, don't give your money to anybody else. Don't. Because you're basically pissing your money up against the wall. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. You're pissing your money up against the wall. Simple as that. These fucking vultures, and that's what they fucking are, these fucking vultures that pop up and decide to cash in on any kind of emergency that happens in the vaping scene. We all seen it happen in the United States. We all seen it happen to a lesser extent over in the European Union, just before the TPD came into effect. We've been spared all of this, at least for the past 14 years until the very end of Rishi Sunak's premiership, and now it's been kicked straight into high fucking gear. Straight into high gear. From midway through Rishi Sunak's premiership, which was what? Less than a year and a half ago? Because the Labour Party's only been in for 9 months. Fucking feels like 9 years, but the Labour Party's only been in for 9 months. So halfway through Rishi Sunak's premiership, when this tobacco and vapes bill first started popping up, group after group after group after group popped up. Page after page after page popped up, all with big donation buttons at the very bottom. Give us your money and we'll save vaping. No, you fucking won't. No, you won't. None of you have contacts. None of you even have contacts in the fucking PPG for that matter. Out of the 4 people that are currently in the all-party parliamentary group to do with vaping, the new APPG, I've got 1 of them in my contact list. 1 of them. That's 1 more than practically all of the other fucking advocacy groups out there. Pisses me fucking off, it does. Fucking royally pisses me off. And the worst thing about it is, the way I'm looking at this is, you get your general vapor who doesn't watch these videos, doesn't look at this ugly face every what's up. You've got your general everyday vapor who doesn't take part in forums, doesn't take part in Facebook groups to do with vaping, very, very rarely watches videos to do with vaping on YouTube, and the only time they do is to look at one specific item they think of buying, so they won't look at these vlogs. They won't look at these vlogs. But they'll look at this Facebook sponsored. This is another thing they're doing. They're buying sponsored messages on Facebook to advertise themselves. Yeah, so that's also where your money's going. If you're donating to these fucking clowns, they're wasting half of it, thousands a month in some cases, on Facebook ads to get more people in to donate more money to them. But you get general Joe Blogs or Jane Blogs vapor who doesn't have a clue what's going on, sees this big sign popping up, says, "Only we can save vaping," with a donation button on the fucking advert. Oh, I think I'll donate £50 or maybe a tenner to them. Donate, ka-ching! That's £10 donated to an advocacy group that's going to do fuck all with that money apart from piss it up against a wall. Can you tell I'm pissed off about this? Yeah. Because this shit wrecked the US chances of getting some kind of cohesive group message together. Completely fucking wrecked the US chances. You had CASA, an overblown fucking email server. Thousands donated a fucking month to an email server that probably only cost them $100 a month, if that. How did CASA do in saving vaping, by the way? Oh, that's right. Vaping still gets shafted. Now the same shit's happening fucking here. Now it's fucking happening here. Oh, I don't fucking know. Unless it's the one led by Mark Oates, unless it's UKVIA, who's really a trade organisation, or unless it's the IBVTA, who's really a trade organisation. In fact, the only one that's not a trade organisation is the one led by Mark Oates, let's face it. Unless it's one of those three, it's not worth donating to them, because they're not going to fucking do anything. They're not. They're just going to take your money and run off. That's what they'll do, because that's what happened to 90% of the advocacy groups that were over in the United States. They took tens of thousands of US dollars in donations over the span of a year and a half to 2 years. Where are they now? They ran off with the fucking money. They literally ran off with the money. What the fuck? Really, what the fuck? I don't know. Be careful who you're donating your money to. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I haven't had a good rant like that for fucking years. There is going to be no reviews this week, folks, because that piece of shit right there is the laptop that I usually bring to Expo with me. It started randomly shutting down. I think I know what's wrong with it, though. I think it's a case of the thermal paste between the IHS, the internal heat spreader, and the actual heatsink. I think the thermal paste is dried out because it only shuts down when I'm about to tax the processor. In other words, encode a video. That's when it goes, nope, fuck you, I'm shutting down. I think it needs a reapplication of some fresh thermal paste. The problem with that particular laptop is it's a bastard to get into. Ooh, because I had a look on YouTube for this particular laptop here, and there's like fucking layers of shit that need to be unplugged and removed before it can actually get into the heatsink spreader itself and unscrew that and then put some new thermal paste on. So that's going to take a good day, probably 2 days knowing me, to actually get the fucking thing stripped apart, cleaned out, new application of thermal paste, and then spend fucking 2 hours putting the bastard thing back together again, because I need that thing running for the Expo this coming weekend, because I like to put the blog up, or the vlog up for the Expo the evening of that day. That's why I put a business to business vlog out for Friday, and then I put a separate vlog out for the Saturday and for the Sunday, because I've got that little fella with me. It's not the best laptop in the world. It's like, what, 6-7 years old now. It's an Acer Nitro 5 AMD edition, first generation Ryzen, so it's going fucking way back now, but it's fast enough to do what I need it to do, which is basically encode just straight camera footage. Fast enough for what I need it to do, but I need to get that thing up and running, because I mean, it switches on, but that's about it. Can't fucking encode videos with it, and if I can't encode videos with it, that's the vlog's fucked for the weekend. So I need to get that thing up and running. That's going to take a couple of days to get up and running. So I'll be there. If you're heading down to the UK Vapor Expo, I'll be there Thursday, Friday and Saturday. I know that Vapor Bunny and Darren's going down. Pugs is going to be there Saturday and Sunday. Nevs will be there Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Hanky's going to be there for the Saturday. I think Benny Vapes is going down. I think Jaff Vapes is going down as well. He was on the UK Vape Show last month. Jaff Vapes is going to be there. There's going to be a fairly good turnout. A fairly good turnout of folks who are doing reviews and live shows on YouTube. So if you're heading down, no doubt most of us are going to be hanging out at the Ohm Zone. Most of us are going to be hanging out at the Ohm Zone because, again, there's about 95% disposables out on the main floor. It's going to be a fucking bloodbath out there on the main floor with the wholesalers and distros and fucking manufacturers trying to offload the remnants of their inventory before that June 1st ban. It's going to be a fucking bloodbath. It really is. Anyway, that's it from me, folks. As always, thanks for watching. And I might see you, if you're heading down, I might see you at the UK Vapor Expo. Have a good one.